Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Richcraft server. Today I'm starting off in my turtle farm. So here it is in the background. I'm not really sure if I've built it right, never done anything like this before. But the idea is that you go out to the ocean, find some turtles, feed them some seagrass. Oops, it's a bit close. Feed them some seagrass and get them to, and then you have to follow them back to their spawning location. Get them to lay some eggs. And then using a silk touch tool, pickaxe in my case, then you collect them up and bring them to a location of your choosing, which in this case is under my starter house. Lay them then on some sand, and given enough time they'll hatch. So there they are. You can see some of them closer to hatching than others. Now, I'm not quite sure how long I'm supposed to wait here. I think it was 5 or 6 nights or something like that, I'm not sure. But we'll just wait and see how we go. And then once they hatch, they head for the water, so I've got some water over there. And they'll hang out into the water until they grow up into adults, and as they go from a baby to an adult, they drop their chute, which is, I guess, is their baby shell. And that is collected, the water streams will take that down to a hopper down there, and that's collected up down there, and then put into a chest, and some point will come along and collect those up, feed the new growing turtles some seagrass and get them to lay some more eggs, and then those eggs will hatch and grow into babies, and the process will continue, and it'll end up with chute. And what you do with chute, I think that's it, how you pronounce it anyhow, is you use that to make turtle helmets, and turtle helmets give you an extra 10 seconds of underwater breathing before your bubbles start to disappear. So my plan is to make one of those, fit it to and enchant it with respiration. I'm actually not sure if you can enchant turtle helmets at all, but we'll find out. Enchant it with respiration and make it my underwater helmet. So that's the plan. But I'm just quietly waiting on these turtles to hatch here. Not sure how long it's going to take. Getting a bit close to my face again. So we'll just leave this here, and then we'll carry on with today's activities. So in this episode, I plan to build what do you call the thing? Sugarcane farm. That's it. I plan to build a sugarcane farm. I have managed to collect myself 2 librarian villages, and they require loads and loads of books and paper in order to unlock their trades and to trade with in order to get emeralds. So if we have ourselves a sugarcane farm, then we can have loads of paper in order to make books and trade with them, and then hopefully some of them have got some good trades. Maybe we can get a mending book. That'll be really useful. As you can see, my enchanted diamond pickaxe is looking a bit the worse for wear. Get mending on that, and then it will be sorted. Then I can use some of my diamonds to make diamond armor and diamond weapons and things, and get mending on those as well. But no idea what their trades are yet. I haven't managed to unlock them all the way to the top level. We'll build the sugarcane farm and then have a look at that after. Okay, so that's the plan for this episode. Let's get on with it. Alright, this is the location I've chosen for the sugarcane farm. Just a spot in the dark oak forest. I've cleared away a few oak trees, gathered up some resources, and we're ready to go. It's not too far from the main village. If you can just see in the background there through the trees, you can see my starter house. If I look this way, you can just see the mountain, so we're not too far away. Hopefully that'll keep those turtle eggs chunks loaded, and they will hopefully hatch while we're doing this, but we'll just have to see how we go. But here we are, all ready to start. Let's get into it. This is the progress so far. What we have here is an observer-based... Who's that? Oh, get lost. Oh, busy here, man. Clear out. Oh, you've brought your friends with you as well. Right. Come on, clear off. Yeah, but... Oh, there's another one somewhere. They're just coming out of the woodwork. Yep. Clear off. Go on. And you. Get lost. Busy here. Oh, another one. Yeah, maybe the sun will take him out. Yep, good. Alright. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's annoying. Alright, I better clean this mess up and then I'll come back. Alright, here we are back again after we were so really rudely interrupted. Cleaned up all the mess there, and then we can get on with this. So this is a basic observer design. So the idea is the sugarcane grows up when it gets to level 2, or when one of them gets to level 2 it'll trigger an observer, and then it'll fire the pistons, and the pistons will break the sugarcane at this level here, and it'll all fall down into the water down the bottom and be collected by a hopper. It is not a completely lossless design. Most of this level here should end up in the water down the bottom, but you get the odd one from the second level up here which will end up falling on here, so we get a bit of loss. But it's pretty simple and straightforward to build. The redstone's not that difficult at all. So we can get up the back here without falling off. So the observer just triggers the redstone dust on the back, which triggers all the redstone, powers the block, and fires the piston. So no clever hopper timers or pulse extenders or anything like that. Very simple and straightforward. It does, of course, use a lot of observers, provided you've got plenty of redstone observers to resource intense. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go from here. I do think I will dig down further, so we'll have more levels, possibly another level on top, and then I may, if I feel the urge or I've got plenty of spare time, build another module over here and another module over here. The idea is to make it all industrial looking, and it looks pretty industrial to me. Oh, there we go, it just fired, and you can see lost one there, but the rest of them have fallen down the bottom, and we'll be collecting them in chest. So that's it, so we'll crack on. Okay, okay, so here we are at the sugarcane farm. I have completed, I guess you'd call it, phase 1 of the sugarcane farm. So we have 9 of these modules currently operational. So there's 3 in the stack, 1, 2, 3 down there, 3 there, and 3 there, providing me with loads of sugarcane. I've tried to go for a bit of an industrial feel to this build. Not quite sure if I've managed to pull it off, but once we complete the enclosing building as well, it'll have more of an industrial feel, I think. This side here will be covered in chests so that the sugarcane, as it's collected, will be stored in the chests. We go down the bottom here. You can see how far down we go. The plan is, phase 2 is to go down further, and the idea is that if you're standing up here somewhere looking down, you just get the impression of a sort of large cavernous machine producing sugarcane. Now it has been churning sugarcane away making sugarcane for quite a while. I've only got 2 stacks in there, but I've actually collected maybe 10, maybe 20 stacks. But I have been converting the sugarcane into paper as I go along, and I've been doing that for one very good reason. And the very good reason is this: I have made myself a villager breeder. So here it is in here. Just a bog standard basic villager breeder. Actually, we'll go in and you can have a look at how it all works. So I put a tractor on the roof here. That drops me down into here. This whole area here is all farmland. And in order for this to be an infinite villager breeder, as they call it, is that you need one dude who's a farmer, which is this guy here he is. He's a fisherman. And what he's supposed to do, although he doesn't seem to be doing it at the moment, is harvesting up the grown crops and collecting those and replanting them. And then they'll start throwing food at each other and breeding. Down here, there is another villager, and there are, you can only see 3 doors there, but there are actually 6. There's 3 there and another 3 back here. So those 6 doors constitute a village, and that dude sitting down there makes sure the village stays a village. And that guy there is about 5 blocks, I think, 1, 2, 5 blocks down. So you come up 5 blocks, and then you make your farmland here, and then you have your villagers running around. And because these villagers I'm not quite sure how it all works technically, but they're part of the village, so they're not part of the village. So because there's only one guy down there and there's 6 doors, I think if you have 35%, if your village is 35% full or less, then they'll breed more villagers. Because there's only one guy down there, that makes that village less than 35% full, so these guys just happily breed away. And as you can see, we've got a few. Well, I started with 2, and we've now got 4. We've actually got 5. There's another villager I've taken out. I did have this running previously, and I had maybe 10, 15 villagers running around here. Unfortunately, a zombie somehow managed to get in, and I still haven't figured out how the zombie managed to get in. It could be that this was just an ordinary grass block, and it managed to spawn on there somehow. Or it could be that it managed to attack a villager through a corner. So like if you don't have that, if you just have this block here and that block there, and no block on the other side in the corner, then the villagers can get attacked through the corner. So it may have been that a villager was attacked through the corner and then turned all the rest of them into zombies. So that was super annoying. I think I had 3 librarians and 2 cartographers in here, amongst other things, and there were some good trades. So we lost a lot of those. So in order to stop that from happening, and these corners here, I've blocked out the corners on the other side, so they can't get hit through the corner. And then instead of having a grass block here, I've just taken it out and put a half slab, so there's no spawns on there. And this rail here should stop zombies from spawning as well. And if we break that block, not that I'm going to, but if we break that block, then there's a track which runs down there into the villager collection area. So when I find a villager that I like, I'll throw down a minecart and try my best to nudge him onto there, so that he goes into the minecart, and we can break this block here and send him on his way down into the villager collection area. So we'll just show you that now. Just open it up. So it's all a bit temporary and non-permanent, but we break this block here. So this is the track coming down, rail track coming down here. It goes down here, and initially, I might break one of these tracks and just use as a storing area. So initially they'd sort of come down here and kind of stop, and then you'd collect them, and then you could check out whether you may well make sure you've got the right one, check out whether he's any good or not, and then you give them a bit of a push and they head up this way along this track here, up. So I've surrounded the end of it there in stone brick and then topped it off with slabs, so we don't get any spawns on here, or there's no way for zombies to get into the system. And they come along this track here into this new building I've constructed. Drop down here into the water streams, and the idea was you open up a trapdoor, and then the water stream would push them along, and then they would drop down, and boom, hey presto. Oh, that's an annoying guy. Let's just go and deal with this party crasher. Stop banging on my door. Yeah, you. Die. There we go, thank you very much. But the minecarts don't fit in the space the trapdoor leaves. So, yeah, that was a bit annoying. So now we'll just break the trapdoor and they'll fall down. Here, and you see, here's my first guy. He's a librarian. He's not a particularly great librarian, but he does have looting. Unfortunately, it's only looting 1, which is a bit annoying. But looting 1 is better than looting none. So there we go. Unfortunately, I've used that trade up, so I'll have to reset that. But there it is. Sorry, not looting. Sorry, fortune. Fortune 1. So, no, fortune 3 would be better, but fortune 1 is, as I said, better than fortune none. And I've been struggling for this entire game to get fortune on a pickaxe. But now I've managed to do 2 trades with him, and this is where the paper was going. For trades here, 2 trades with him to get 2 fortune 1 books, and then I've gone to an anvil, and then put I've got fortune 2 on my pick. Finally, I've got fortune on my pick. I did have an iron pick with fortune in it, but they wear out really quick. These diamond picks are way better. So finally, we can go. Well, I mean, fortune 3 would be good too, but I've run out of emeralds, so I couldn't get another one. And it cost me 20 odd levels to manage to even do that. So that was quite expensive. But now we're here finally, and we can go hunting for diamonds. So this building I've constructed here, I wanted to go for a medieval style. This is part of the castle area. This will be where the main bailey goes. Up on the top of the hill up there is where the main castle, like the keep, and other fortifications will go up there. But this area here will be surrounded by a wall, and I'll make it, as I said, into a bailey. Jump. And then we'll put various buildings in here to make it look like a castle, of course, but also to provide some function. So this villager breeder won't stay here forever; that will eventually disappear. But once I've got the villagers I want out of it, then we will build some more. Well, we'll build a wall around it first, but build some more buildings. So, for example, we'll have a blacksmith, so that if we get a blacksmith villager out of there, then we can stick him into the blacksmith and trade with him in that way. Same with a fletcher, and maybe a butcher, and various other villagers we can trade with, and just put them in the appropriate buildings sort of around this area, and make it look a bit more castle-like. I'm not 100% sold on this building. It's obviously it's not finished. It does look okay. It looks a little bit bland. Might have to figure out some way of giving it a bit of colour, maybe. It doesn't quite look medieval, but it sort of does. So we'll roll with it for now, anyhow. If I come up with a better idea, maybe I might tear it all down and build something new. And once I've got the wall finished, it'll probably fit in a lot better. So the wall, you just see I've got a rough outline of where the wall is. Will be here. I'm going with a basic 5x5 construction style, which works quite well with medieval builds and castle walls. Yeah, only just got the outline so I can position the building, and that will run up right up against the wall there. There might be a little bit of an overhang. We'll see how we go. But that's that. So that is the villager breeder. The other project which I've started on is an iron farm. My plan is to build an array of iron farms on the server. The array will have probably 12 iron farms in it. Well, it will have 12 iron farms in it. And from testing I've done in the creative world, it has produced something like 380 iron an hour. So this is the first step. We're doing the first iron farm here. So the first iron farm will be down on around about bedrock level. So if you look down there, it's way down there. The second iron farm will be 80 blocks or so above that, which ends up being up there somewhere. And the third iron farm will be 80 blocks above that, so it'll be about 190, 200 blocks, something like that, up in the air. Pretty high, so it'll be obvious from everywhere. So I've built this out on a peninsula, which is close to the town, but not so close that it'll be overbearing. The castle's over in that direction. But in order to, at this stage, gain access to the iron farm works, I have cut into the ground this 3x3 hole, and this 3x3 hole is where will be the centre of the iron farm, and the iron golems will fall down here. There'll be a lava blade at the bottom, and they'll die, and their drops will be collected, and they'll make their way up. So the drops will make their way up through a bubble stream. So at this stage, it's just a hole in the ground. We step in here and fall down to the bottom. Boom, here we are. So this is the first level. So the hole goes a bit further down. So that's where the hoppers and things will be down there. This is the first spawning area, which I have fully cleared out. In these gaps here, there will be doors, and same here, and same there, and so on and so forth. So it's just a standard, bulk standard iron farm, and there'll be some villages sort of in here somewhere on all four sides. And if we climb up here, we'll see So this is the second spawning level, so this will be the roof. The second spawning level here, and I think you just see the tops of the doors over there. Not quite finished clearing it out. Unfortunately my pick, this one here, old rock breaker, was on the verge of wearing out, so we had to stop before we ruin that. I'm really hoping for my villager breeder to get some librarians with mending. I am desperately in need of mending. That is really holding up most of my build at the moment, not having mending, and also not having a decent XP farm. So the skeleton farm does okay, but it is long and tedious having to wait for the skeletons to spawn. So at some point, possibly after I've made 1 or 2 iron farm modules, we will be looking at making a hostile mob farm, which I will actually put in the centre of the iron farm array, so that you can sit there and happily bash away getting XP, and while I do get mending, repairing my tools, at the same time generating lots of lovely iron. Iron is a bit of a scarce commodity. Like, we do find plenty of it, and in fact digging out what I've done so far, so if you just drop down the bottom, have a look at some of the trenches I've dug out. There's one here. So we've dug out those 2 areas there, but we've also dug out all the way to the surface, well, not quite at the surface, but all the way to the surface, these channels here, and that is because in order for a village to be considered a village, when you place a door, you need at least 1 sky block on one side to make this door into a village door. So the way it works, as I understand, is the game will check each door, and if it finds covered blocks on one side and open blocks on the other side, then as far as that's concerned, behind that door is a building, which makes that door part of a village. But you need 1 more sky block in front, then you have covered blocks at the back. So that's why we've dug this trench here, and we'll do it all the way around. I haven't quite finished that either. This bit was looking a bit the worse for wear. I have to dig all those out, so it's a bit of a pain doing it underground actually, because there's a lot of digging. But in the process of doing that, we've actually come up with 3 stacks of iron, so that was really handy. And there's lots more digging to do, so we'll probably come up with more. But digging for iron, if you don't need very much iron, then that's fine. But if you're doing a lot of things, particularly with hoppers or iron golems, which if we make a slime farm, we'll probably need to make some iron golems, then iron is a precious commodity, and it disappears very, very quickly, which is why we're going with the iron farm array. If it was just me on the server, I might just do 1 iron farm, but there are other people on the server too, so we might even open a shop in town which sells iron. Right. Okay, that is all for this episode. We managed to get the kelp farm up to operational condition. We did have a working villager breeder, although that's not working so much anymore. Trading hall is underway. What else did we get done today? Unfortunately, failed with the baby turtles. We'll have to look into that. But otherwise, we're all good for this episode. So thanks for watching. Really appreciate any comments you guys have to make, and would really appreciate as well if you would subscribe. But thank you, and see you next time.